All right, YouTube. This is Detroit's HPTV coming to you on a Monday morning. I got a story for you, and this is one of the most horrific stories coming out of Detroit. Now, I did several videos leading up to this story. Now, in Detroit, the emotions are high over a young 13-year-old child named Desire Harris. So if you have small children in the room, maybe you should have the children leave the room, because this is not a feel-good story, but it's systemic of a bigger problem. Problems in families, generational curses that have become generational choices. You know, a lot of times we say things are generational curses, but they are generational choices. Because in this story, you'll see that the mothers and grandmothers involved in this young lady's life have been victims of the same thing that they let her fall a victim to. You know, it would seem that you wouldn't want to pass your trauma down to your children and your grandchildren as if it's some type of legacy, when it's really generational traumas, repeated bad actions and bad choices, because there was no way this S offender should have been around somebody's daughters, somebody's granddaughters, somebody's children. Do we ignore things? Because the cognitive dissonance that surrounded this case is through the roof. The suspect in this case had a history of violating children, targeting women with small children. See, a lot of these women don't even realize they meet guys, and the guy already scoped the fact out that they have a young daughter somewhere. So you think the guy is into the relationship for you, but he's really trying to get at your daughter. And what makes it doubly worse, if you've been an adult woman who's seen that with their cousins, with their mother, or even with themselves, how could you not keep this guy away from your kids when he has a history documented of violating children and women? So one of the things about this story is when I was doing the follow-up, when the young girl first came up missing, it didn't get much attention. It didn't get much views, because we tend to like to be entertained more than anything else. Because when you look at social media, if you're from Detroit, every week there's several children who come up missing. Every week, from the ages of 15 all the way down to 5. Where are these children? Who's watching these children? And now we live in a society that wants late term termination of pregnancy all the way up until the 8th month, 9th month. Gender reassignment for children. Open borders for amalgamation. And it's almost like in the book of Revelations, how the dragon chased the woman who was big with child because he wanted to devour the child. You know, that's an interesting concept coming out of the book of Revelations. The beast and the dragon chased the woman because he wanted her child. And he was waiting until she gave birth to her child so he could devour that child. And this is what Babylon is doing. This is what the United States is doing. This is what our communities are doing. We are allowing Satan to take our children and corrupt our children. And we say nothing because we'd rather be entertained. So I'm not going to talk your ear off. I want you to see this story. And again, if they're small children, have them leave the room. And then after this, I'm going to show you an old video that I did when this young lady first went missing. This story is a Detroit story that's sad. So without further ado, this is Detroit's HPTV. I'm doing this video under the 1976 Copyright Act for fair usage, commentary, educational purposes, and the First Amendment. Check this story out.
We have a sad and troubling update to a story that we've been following since the start of the year of this 13-year-old girl missing since January. In court today, the man accused of killing this missing Detroit teen, 13-year-old Neziah Harris, disappeared back in January, and now investigators are saying that someone close to the family, the father of her cousins, Jarvis Butts, and the alleged motive, both shocking and disturbing for everything that we know about this case, and it is very troubling. We go to Kim DeGiulio, who joins us now live with more on the person they say is responsible and also his criminal background. Yeah, good morning. Certainly a very disturbing story here, and this is the person that the family suspected all along. Now, even though Neziah's body has never been found, she is presumed dead now, and they're linking her to Jarvis Butts through text messages, and now he is charged with her murder. Behind Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy is a selfie taken by 13-year-old Neziah Harris the day she went missing on January 9th.
She is smiling and waving and saying hello. But little did she know that she was really saying goodbye.
The prosecutor says evidence confirms 13-year-old Neziah Harris was murdered, allegedly at the hands of 41-year-old Jarvis Butts, who was involved with Neziah's aunt. But text messages between Butts and the teen show he was sexually abusing Neziah, even getting the teen pregnant.
You look at that face, and you do not see the horrors that she had gone through in her short life. The exploitation, the molestations, the sexual abuse, and the pregnancy that she was concealing.
A great aunt and cousin of Neziah say long before Neziah went missing, they were waving the red flag to family and to authorities that Butts should not be around Neziah or other kids. They allege those closest to the teen did nothing.
She might have been able to be saved. They didn't report her missing to the day after she went missing.
Just the fact that this well-known pedophile was around any of them was a...
Now think about that. How, as a parent, you don't report that your 13-year-old is missing for a whole day? You know, you sent the kid off to school, got on the school bus, and they never make it home. And with this guy's record, as it relates to these type of behaviors and who he was, how would you have him around your children? Was he that handsome to you? What did he say that would make you trust him, considering that he was a total monster? See, that comes with cognitive dissonance. That comes with the liberalism of anything goes. And as I said before, you don't think that all the debauchery and nefarious things that you see are directed for the children? Because if you my age, you know, you can only corrupt yourself. Nobody's going to come and corrupt me. You know what I mean? Either I'm corrupt right now or I'm not. But with children, they need protection, especially in these times. Let's do the rest of the story.
problem for me.
We take a lesson from this. We make strong and good decisions for our children, keep them out of harm's way. We are not pointing out anything that someone did wrong. We just want to make sure people do a lot more things right.
That made no sense.
So disturbing. Now, again, Jarvis Butts will be arraigned in court later this morning. We'll keep you updated on that. He's on sex abuse charges as well as murder charges. And as if it couldn't get more disturbing, we've actually found reports that this isn't the first time he's been charged with sexual abuse. It actually dates back to the year 2004. He's been charged with sex abuse from another 13-year-old girl, as well as another girl who was just 4 years old. I'm Kim DiGiulio, Local 4. And Kim not just charged, but convicted and also did time for that. Very sad. Very, very sad. Thank you, Kim. Hey, check this out. So I stopped buying random lotto tickets and started doing this instead.
Now, I know that's a horrible story. It's a horrible story. But just think of how many families are hiding these type of secrets. How much trauma comes from these type of situations and incidents. It's overwhelming when you see the direction that society is going. Think of what not me, but think about what people are voting for this election. Late term termination of pregnancy, gender reassignment of children, open borders. They even talking about giving gender reassignment to prisoners at the taxpayer expense. Who is driving this level? What manifestation of evil is it among us that we're not paying attention to? Are we that prayed up? Have we become that callous that this guy could even be around a 4-year-old? Think about that. I'm finna show you the video I did 8 months ago. This is a video of me 8 months ago reporting on this story before this revelation came out. For a minute, and then nobody really talked. Now, this is the story, the same story I'm showing you. I want you to catch up. But this is when I reported on the story. It didn't get shared. You know what I mean? People, it had a little traction. But look at the end result. Here's my first story. All right, YouTube. This is Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. I got a local story. It's about a missing teenage girl. She's 13 years old. Her name is Naziah. With all the things going on in the media, we tend to forget what's really going on around us. Like this 13-year-old girl been missing for a minute, and ain't nobody really talking about it. I mean, we know we talking about immigration, we talking about crime, but there's a human aspect to this that we got to pay attention to. So I want you to look at this story and look at this girl out of Detroit. She's only 13 and she's been missing for almost a little over a month now. Check this story out. It's for fair use of 1976 Copyright Act. It's January 9th.
Naziah Harris was last seen in the area of Cornwall Street and 3 Mile, right near East.
Let this soft mineral melt in your mouth to rebuild your gums and teeth and never need a dentist again. Did you know there is...
East Warren and Outer Drive. Tonight, police and her family are pleading for clues.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Back here at home tonight, Detroit police conducting a grid search in hopes of finding a 13-year-old girl who's been missing now since January 9th.
Naziah Harris was last seen in the area of Cornwall Street and 3 Mile, right near East Warren and Outer Drive. Tonight, police and her family are pleading for clues. Rod Maloney live on the story for us. Rod, are officers still out there?
No, they did their canvass and have left, but they have promised that they're going to have continued searches that could even span far beyond Wayne County. Now, here is the flyer they were handing out today. Naziah Harris is the young girl, the 13-year-old that they're looking for. We spoke to her grandmother, Annette, this afternoon, along with police. This is what she had to say.
I want my baby home. And I'm asking in the name of Jesus, and I stand on my faith that he's going to bring her home.
With the help of Drone 4, we see Detroit police today fanning out across the East Side neighborhood near Shoemaker and Garland, looking for Naziah Harris, 13 years old, 5'2", weighing 130 pounds. Detroit Public Schools police saying the 8th grader left Joseph E. Clark Prep Academy on January 9th, made it off the bus near her grandmother's home on 3 Mile Avenue in Cornwall, which is about 4 miles away from today's search scene. Officers, police dogs, and cadets alike knocked on doors and did a grid search. We have debriefed on a number of different factors. We're hopeful that we find her but we can't operate on hope. We have to operate on information, investigation, and work, and that's what we're here to do today. And if this looks like the operation that led to Detroit police and the FBI finding Winter Nicole Smith's body last year, it's because Detroit police now confirm the same kind of information that led them to that body is what prompted their efforts here. Annette Harris knows full well, more than a month after her granddaughter's disappearance, a search like this is ominous. Still,
And we're asking anybody that has any information.
I don't like how this sounds, because if the police is saying that they know it's a serial killer out here, then say that. You know what I mean? And to really discard this young girl's life and to not be more forthcoming or empathetic with it. Look how casual he was. Look how casual they are about this situation. Let's listen to the grandmother.
Any information, I don't care who it is, please come forth, contact the police department. Her life could be in danger.
So now Darrell Woods is a police commissioner with the city of Detroit. He's offering $1,000. Crime Stoppers was here. They also offer rewards. And like Annette said, they're looking for any and all information they can get. If you have anything, call Detroit Police. Reporting live on the East Side, Rod Malone.
All right, thank you, Rod. Detroit police tonight.
First of all, he offered $1,000. That's like the least he could go. And then he was acting like he wasn't even interested. You know what I mean? Like, here go another one. I'm going to play this one back. I hope this is about the same 13-year-old girl.
Leading the search for a teenager middle schooler who disappeared last month in an unusual display of force this afternoon. DPD, Detroit Public Schools, police, and cadets did a grid search. They went door to door, handing out flyers, hoping to find Naziah Harris. This investigation is picking up in intensity. Local 4's Rod Maloney joins us now live this evening from the area police searched with for the latest for Naziah's family. Rod?
Yeah, they were all over this neighborhood, Karen, and this is the flyer that they were handing out. Naziah Harris, black female, age 13, 5'2", 130 pounds, and there is a real desperate belief that she could be found, and that's what her grandmother, an adoptive grandmother, Annette Harris, told me today.
We can't rule anything out, and I'm hoping and praying that that is not the case. I'm standing on my face. That God is going to bring my baby home. But it's been really rough.
Naziah's mother found herself in trouble, and Annette adopted Naziah to provide a better life. Neither Annette nor Detroit police can figure out how Naziah, an 8th grader at Joseph Clark Prep Academy, disappeared in the short steps from her bus stop to Annette's home.
They have, footage of her getting on the school bus, and the bus driver did say that she did get off at her regular stop, okay? And she was supposed to be coming home, like she normally do, every day.
Detroit Public Schools police started the investigation on January 10th, the day Annette reported her missing. But they hit a roadblock this week and brought Detroit police into the case.
When a child is missing, you got to look everywhere. I had no idea that it was going to be here. I was just told that this is where it was going to be.
The 13-year-old girl in Desire. So they searched here at Shoemaker and Garland on the east side, about 4 miles away from where she disappeared. And Annette Harris has a message for the person or persons who may know what happened to her granddaughter.
Nazaya needs to be home with her family, and we love her. So if you are harboring her, there is a law for that. And I'm asking that whoever has any information about my granddaughter to please contact the police. Please, I'm begging you.
Now, the Detroit Public Schools Police Department chief told me today that he doesn't believe that she was abducted, but they cannot be sure. So they've called in Detroit police. They've also asked the FBI and the Michigan State Police to join them.
Now, I'm going to stop right there because I'm showing you, I did this story right there like 8 months ago. Now, since that time, it's come out that the suspect, the alleged suspect, allegedly, that they got, was sleeping not only with her auntie, but with her grandmother. It's all going to come out issues where these type of violations have been rampant all through their family. These women have been carrying around these type of traumas and passing it down like a legacy. And even though we talking about it now, we know it's still going on in some family with some child somewhere. I mean, as a community, where are our priorities? This country, this community has become almost 100% wicked. Because who would even allow this guy to be around their children? Guy sleeping with the grandma, auntie. Horrible guy. It's allegations that the 4-year-old he dealt with, he gave chlamydia. An 11-year-old. Wow. But I guess he had a good job. I guess they thought he was handsome. The whole time, he was out there with them, looking for her.
Take one last look here at Nazaya Harris. If you know where she is, DPD wants to hear from you. Reporting live on the east side, Rod Malone, Local 4.
So hope we can get some leads on this. All right. Thank you, Ron. Anyone in the United States?
Okay, so you can see what we're dealing with in Detroit, right? And and it is what it is. It's like, anybody know anything about where this girl is? Notify the police and whatever. You know what I mean? Because did you see the first clip I showed you where they know that another girl was found out deceased? Compare the stories that I just shown you out of the clips, and let's be more aware. Let's be more alert. Since you are Detroit, you know what I mean? Keep your head on swivel and pay attention. And look into this story. Peace.
And I did a follow-up to that story, all culminating in what we found out at this late date. Because this started back in January. I mean, there are deeper issues than just the fact of this one monster. How many of you out there know people who have been victimized by relatives and associates of the family and even family members? Because this is not just a black thing. This happens in white families, Hispanic families. This is a sign of something bigger and more sinister that lives amongst us. And we should be aware. We should be aware of where all this eroticizing of the children, all this exposure of the children. You know what I mean? All this grooming of the children. You see what's happening with Diddy and TD Jakes and the rest of them. Where is this going to? How liberal do you guys want to be? How liberal do you want to be? You don't protect the children. You don't protect the infants or the innocents. But you still celebrate some type of false sense of pride as a community. You know what I mean? That's like somebody who don't have a job at all saying, I never work at McDonald's because I'm too proud to work at McDonald's, but you don't have a job at all. What are y'all proud of if this is how we're living in reality? I'm going to follow this story because they got the gap. And man, he doesn't look like a monster. I guess none of them do. Somehow they always find their way to be like a basketball coach or little league coach or some member of the church or somebody respectable on the outside. Apex predators. Chameleons, so to speak. They come charming with the compliments. And next thing you know, they on top of your kids, your grandma, your mama, everybody. You let him in? Who let him in the door? How did he get in the door? With his record, with who he is. How did he get in the door? Somebody let him in. Some of you out there who have been through certain things and certain type of traumas, who let him in the door? Who exposed you to it? How did you get exposed? Who's watching the kids? I told you, I was having the debates with me and my age. They're telling me to vote for termination, late-term termination of pregnancies. Gender assignment. What is wrong with us as a people? That we think good is evil and we think that evil is good. Well, that's all I have on this story. Signing to you out of Detroit. Support the nonprofit Detroit's Black Thought and Ash Collective. The Cash App is in the channel description. As always, salute to all the patrons. And y'all keep y'all head on the swivel. Peace. Like, share, and subscribe.